Hi everyone, welcome to my workshop. Today we're going to talk about smart plugs. What makes a plug smart? Well, it doesn't read your mind and it doesn't generate free electricity either. It's considered smart because another device can monitor its properties and adapt to them. So, what exactly are we talking about? I'm sure everyone is familiar with power strips. These power strips can be found in every household, especially around computers and TVs. For example, if you have a desktop computer, you've probably noticed that there are plugs for the computer itself, the monitor, the speakers, the printer, and so on. And there are usually quite a few devices plugged in around a computer. It's the same with TVs. With a TV, you'll often have a set-top box, a DVD player, an amplifier, and so on. Again, quite a few plugs. So these are all separate units. These devices easily consume 5 to 10 watts even in standby mode, meaning when they're turned off, so there's a pretty significant amount of power being used continuously. Some people use the simplest method. They get a power strip, and when they're not using the devices, they just turn it off. I did this myself for quite a while, but I realized that dealing with that switch is a bit of a hassle, so I decided to make this power strip a little smarter. Let's not forget, there's always a master device drawing power. For example, the computer. We can easily set it up so that the computer is always plugged directly into the 220-volt socket, and everything else goes into this smart outlet. So what happens? When we go to the computer and turn it on, it comes to life. And at that point, its surroundings should also come to life. The speakers, the amplifier, maybe a USB charger, the printer, the monitor, and so on. I solved this by using a USB cable. I connect it to the computer. Overall, you have to set this up in a way that's safe. You have to think about electrical safety. Obviously, the computer's 5 volts is completely safe, but this isn't. So you need to connect it in a way that uses some kind of isolation. For this, the solid-state relay I'm holding in my hand is perfect. This is a 25 amp relay. Let me read it. It says you can apply anything from 3 to 32 volts. And if it's between 3 and 32 volts, if anything comes in, it connects these 2 points. So it works like a relay, just without any mechanical parts. Nothing clicks inside. The lifespan of this kind of relay is also excellent. You can connect this part to a USB port. USB provides 5 volts, and as I said, anything between 3 and 32 volts can be used here. Let me show you something else interesting. This is a SCART connector, and this is a USB socket. SCART is from the old days, and USB is from today. How can you connect these? There's no electronics between the two. So on pin 8 of the SCART connector, a voltage appears when you turn on the device. If you need to prepare for a 16:9 aspect ratio, a voltage between 5 and 6 volts appears. For a 4:3 aspect ratio, it outputs 11 to 12 volts, and if the device is turned off, 0 volts appears. So this device, or rather this simple cable, is suitable, for example, if I plug it into the septo box, then when I turn on the septo box, it can basically wake up the TV, the amplifier, etc., 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 through the SCART connector, anything that's nearby. Basically, here is the power strip. This is where you need to plug it into the 220-volt outlet. Here is a box, which is basically a universal installation box. Here is the power strip, and here is the mentioned USB cable. So it's very simple. And for the sake of the test, here's a 500-watt halogen floodlight. Trust me, I plugged it into the outlet here, and I'm plugging in the lamp as well. So you can see there, the lamp is plugged in. And of course, even if I turn it on, it doesn't light up. And I brought a power bank here. Inside it is an 18650 lithium cell. When I plug it in, the halogen lamp will light up, just as expected. That's right, I plugged it in, and now the halogen lamp is on, glowing brightly. I can turn it on, I can turn it off, and here, if I unplug the power bank, like this, I pull it out, and the switch goes off too, and the halogen lamp doesn't light up anymore. So that's all there is to it, really. This kind of electrical junction box is available worldwide. A few terminal blocks. This is the solid-state relay. You can see you need to supply a switching voltage between 3 and 32 volts, and then it can switch the 220 volts. up to a maximum of 300 volts. The power strip, the 220-volt wire goes in here and comes out here. You can see here, this is the input, this is the output part, and the blue wire is connected, as if nothing is broken. The green-yellow is also connected, and the brown wire is attached as the switch. And on this side, you can see that the USB cable is connected. In USB cables, the red wire is plus 5 volts, the black is 0 volts. Here in this picture, you can see how it's wired. I popped it out of the little housing. Here is the USB wire connected. This box is full of heat shrink tubes. I always put on 2 layers of heat shrink tube whenever we're dealing with 220 volts. So this is for when you have a wire and you bring it close to the wire and it lights up and beeps like this. It shows that there is definitely voltage in that wire, and the reason there's voltage is because it's plugged into the outlet. So far, so good. So here's this little electrical unit I mentioned that I made. So I put it here, this is plugged in, but this setup only interrupts or breaks the phase wire. So this particular one is what we call a double circuit breaker, while this other one here is a single circuit breaker. It's generally best practice to set it up in such a way that this small box actually interrupts the phase wire, because you can plug the socket into this outlet in either orientation, even if you rotate it 180 degrees. If I touch this wire in this manner, it clearly shows that it's live and carrying current. This other wire also indicates that it is live as well, even though it's switched off, since nothing is plugged into the USB. You can see here, here's the power bank, so nothing is plugged in, and here too it shows that the wire is live. The lamp, as you can see, is not lit. Why is that? It's because I happened to plug this cable into the socket in such a way that I didn't break the phase. I turned it 180 degrees and plugged it in. And now what does it show? Now it senses that this is live. And it senses that this one isn't. See? Not here, not here, not here. Nothing is plugged in. So now the phase is interrupted. This is how it should be wired. I will always use it by checking where the phase is here with the proper plug. And I interrupt the phase, because now if I plug in this power bank, you see now the switch lights up, the lamp lights up, and it shows that it's live, it's live, it's live, it's live, so everything is turned on, right? The lamp clearly shows that everything is on. As soon as I unplug the power bank, you will notice that both the switch and the lamp immediately turn off, which clearly indicates that the circuit is no longer live, and there is no electrical current flowing through the system anymore. So there's no 5 volts. At that moment, as you can see, the lamp doesn't light up. This wire is not live, but this wire is still live. As you can see, the lamp doesn't light up. There's no phase voltage, and that's only possible if you plug it in the right way. In my case, like this with the plug, as you can see here, because in this case, the phase is interrupted. I turn on the device, I'm going to plug in the set-top box into the indoor unit. If I turn on the indoor unit, then 220 volts of mains voltage will appear in all the sockets here, which is basically now 230 or 240, but let's not get into that. And if the set-top box is on, this lamp will light up, and all the sockets will become live, so the amplifier, etc. will get power. But if I turn off the set-top box, then the voltage will disappear from pin 8 at the output here, and everything will shut off. So that's how it works. And this is what the necessary amount of components looks like. Thanks for watching my video. Bye. Hello, hello.